Hello and welcome to another Poetry Friday. Today's poem will be from my Irish collection, which is in my new book Pieces, which is available now. Link in most of the bios in which you might be seeing this. The poem is called Tay, which in Irish is tea. Tay, pour the warmth of your love over my soul. Let the fervor of your voice infuse my medley, my melody brewing, getting stronger when I hear your song. Let me sit a while in the warm water of your spirit. Let me sleep here, my love. Let me steep here, my love. Steeping, stirring, swirling, my soul comes alive when I am with you. You, the warm water, me, the dried leaves. Without you, I would never know how strong I can be. You and me, baby, we make a perfect cup of tea. Hello and happy Friday! As I mentioned in my video yesterday, I will be doing a poetry reading from my new book, which is available for pre-order now and will be released on June 24th, which is also my birthday. Every Friday I will be doing a poetry reading from one of the poems in my book. It is poems that I've written from the age of 4 to just now. I'm almost 40. Anyway, the poem that I will be reading to you today is one of my favorites, called A Writer's Worst Nightmare. With nothing to say, I continue to speak. With nothing to do, I continue to act. With nothing to write. Thanks for coming to my poetry reading. Buy my book. I'm going to do another poetry reading for you today from my book Pieces, a poetry memoir by me, Ezra Elizabeth, aka Just a Peach. The poem I'm going to read for you today is a poem that I wrote about somebody that didn't turn out to be the person that I thought that they were, and so we're doing this poem because I gotta process some anger, and hopefully it helps you too. No vacancy. I keep trying to shed you like a skin of the snake you turned out to be, but every time it tightens the vice you placed on my heart when you chose to leave. I am afraid they will all leave me because of you. Because I can't remove you from my heart. You take up too much space for a vacancy. No vacancy should hurt this much. Please leave. There is no room for you here. I say over and over again, but you are already gone. The Fall by Ezra Elizabeth. Every so often I get this stirring in my soul. It doesn't have a name, but it feels like a new season lay before me, and I yearn for all the changes to emerge. So much hope and joy lie in the crisp, cool air of preparation and daydreaming of all the things I want, all the things I will become. But I am afraid of the waiting, of the spaces in between. Fear creeps in. You can make your bed soft, but what if no one sees? You can clean your kitchen and prepare a warm meal, but what if no one comes to dine? Doubt whispers. Did you actually make any plans? Or did you just think about all the fires in your heart and expect them to appear? Anxiety worries. How do you even prepare for a season to arrive? It scares me to think about letting it all in at once. What if I get overwhelmed and the season leaves? Will it ever return, or does that perish all hope of my time to stand tall? How many chances do I get to have it all? I love the autumn, but I am afraid of the fall. How Boldly Flies by Ezra Elizabeth. How boldly flies the winged bird, how gracefully it soars, yet for all the boldness of its flight, no word for grace it implores. It may have born to be first in flight, yet 'tis man alone who sets this phrase alight. It may possess a foe or kin, but 'tis man alone can suffer loss, 'tis man alone who seeks to win. The bird may yet know hunger, but will never decipher greed. A bird may seek shelter, but can never fathom need. A bird may see from its perch all the treasures of this earth, but will never, from the highest heights, comprehend its worth. Mankind of its own superiority sings, but would that I could trade all definition for a pair of outstretched wings. The Paper Doll Girl by Ezra Elizabeth. She didn't ask to be made, didn't wish to exist, but once created she was fragile and flawless. Hold her tightly, keep her safe, the Maker said that first day. They did their best to protect her, kept all sharp things at bay. But the world can be scary, and despite our best plans, some things that can happen that are out of our hands. The first cut came from her father as they played in the snow. He told her, "Be reckless, wild and brave." But there was a fear deep inside her she couldn't quite show. He said she could trust him, though the ground was quite slick. It was only an accident, a small tear, so he took tape and fastened her up quick. "Here, now no one will see, and no one will get mad at me," he did say. But the girl felt the tear inside her and knew it wasn't okay. But her daddy loved her, she thought. 'Twas a fluke, a small scrape. So she managed to smile and carry on, making sure to mind the tape. The next cut came when she was forced to join school. They let children carry scissors there, and the kids can be so cruel. Some cuts were accidental, others were on purpose, but all teachers carried tape that they used to mend the surface. As she continued on with her life, because that's what she ought, she carried tape with her, because that's what she'd been taught. Some cuts came from strangers, some came from close friends, and the tape made her stronger, at least enough to pretend. Pretend like she wasn't torn, wasn't tattered and lost. Pretend like she hadn't been shattered and tossed. All the cuts she had gotten, both the great and the small, had turned her into nothing more than a scared paper doll, torn apart and put back together so many times that she had forgotten that when she was first formed, she was soft, more fragile than cotton. She wished to be unmade, but her wish was never granted. So instead she found hope in the seeds she had planted. For the paper doll girl had grown a small garden from love seeds she held on to in her heart, not fully hardened. Her seeds grew up quickly, so fine, so tall. She promised to prepare them to survive every fall. As seasons change, she whispered, to thine own self learn to be true, for the only voice that matters is the one that exists inside you. As her precious garden bloomed, the paper doll girl knew she had done for her flowers what her keepers could never do. For the truest love is a love that does not try to protect us, but a love that prepares us for a world that will wreck us. My body is not celestial. The average star has 1 million more times luminosity than our Earth's sun. When my stars align, I can feel myself shining brightly for all the world. Whether I shine as a beacon for others to follow, or just twinkle along brightly in my own magnificent orbit, I feel like I am in irrefutable alignment and living my truth. But the balance of energy is too much for me to sustain, and I burn out too quickly. I become a supernova, and I need to rest for 1 billion years. My fear is I will one day become a black hole. La Ela Padrig Sonagit. Happy St. Patrick's Day. In honor of the holiday, I wanted to share with you one of the poems from my poetry memoir, Pieces, which I published last summer. It's from my Irish collection. I have been studying Irish, but I'm not good enough to write poetry in Irish just yet. But I did touch on some Irish-related themes in the poem that I'm going to share with you today. I'm discussing the topic of anamkara, which directly translates to soul friend. It's that concept of when you meet someone and you immediately click with them. There's that understanding that you guys have just known each other in a past life. I have been lucky enough to have that experience with at least 3 different people, which I do talk about in this poem, but I address them all as one person because I think that in some way they all are sort of the same person because we all share the same soul. Anamkara, soul friend. My heart recognized you before my eyes even finished their focus because you and I have known each other since before. I finish your sentences for your mind can find the words. You must have known I was thinking those thoughts. For you and I have been together since before. When I am with you, I feel like I am complete. When we hug, I can feel our pieces fitting so well because they have been one since before. Pieces of me are pieces of you. I am glad I found myself through you so that we can be together again once more. Our souls are connected through both time and space. I know this because I could not ever forget the curve of your face. My soul's mate, my friend, we will be together again and again and again. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I just finished writing this poem, so bear with me while I read it off of my computer. Stardust. I am a bird. I am the ocean. I am your neighbor. I'm your best friend. I am the dog you take for walks on snowy afternoons. I'm your grandmother's heart near the end. I live in you and without you. I am you just as you are me. We live underneath the branches of the very same tree. I am your joy and your grief, your love and your strife. I live forever, and I have already passed on. I have desperately held on to every angle of this life. Remember me, for I am everywhere you go. Think of me, for I am everyone you know. Okay, here we go. Just do the damn thing. It's okay. You can do this. You've done this before. You've never wanted it this much. 2 years ago, at the height of the pandemic, I wrote and published this book. I am awful at self-promotion, and I also can't afford financial promotion. However, I still believe in this book, and I still believe in a lot of the poems that I've written in this book. Since Hozier just released his new album, I'm going to unearth one of the poems that I wrote that he sort of, by existing in the world and being really a pure muse for me, inspired. Fair warning, I do not have much of a poet voice, so bear with me. To be a room in your house. Oh, to be a room in your house, to be witness to your towering walls, to be bared before them unashamed, to absorb the resonance of your voice, to be present in your heart, to be warmed by your hearth. Love, how I would love to share a place with you, to share a space with you. To be a creature in your forest, to bare my teeth to your valiant heart, to be nurtured by your nature, to know that I am safe in your woods, to be free and wild, untamed by you. Love, how I would love to share the wood with you, to share the good with you, to be a note in your song, to hear the timbre of your voice, to be stripped of my vibrato, to know the lyrics by heart, to be the fire in your baritone. Love, how I would love to share the beat with you, to share the heat with you, to be a star in your sky, to shine unmoved by your magnitude, to be observable to your naked eye, to feel gravity pull my celestial body
to you, to be the luster in your inky ether. Love, how I would love to share the sight with you, to share the night with you, to be a vision in your slumber, to share your brightest dreams, to be seen and understood by you, to know our souls met long ago. Love, how I would love to share the beams with you, to share your dreams with you. And I'll breathe. A poem by Ezra Elizabeth. Deep into my lungs, I breathe you in. Crisp, cool air, or like salty sea, filling my lungs with life. You are my fresh air, you make me feel alive. When we are apart, my eyes closed tight, I can feel your kiss soft upon my cheek. Carried by gentle winds that send my prayers and aspirations to you. The breadth of our love is wider than the atmosphere. Together, we exhale pain, worry, doubt, and fear. Together, we inhale hope, peace, joy, and adoration. Letting go all weight, the world floats away. With you, I know love. With you, I can breathe.